Warning: the following video contains mentions of and references to suicide. This is in no way an endorsement or encouragement of suicide by any means, and if you are having thoughts of ending your own life, I, Antonio the Sheep, strongly encourage you to seek professional help. Viewer discretion is advised. Kermit the Frog. He's by far Jim Henson's most famous character of all time. But were you also aware that he was an icon for depressed teens from as early as the late 2000s to as late as the late 2010s? Well, I'm not bullshitting you. He was indeed this sort of icon. That's right. Today's episode is about the one, the only, Sad Kermit.
I admit it, another pig's got me finished. Broke my heart, oh no you didn't. Tea sipping, I'ma down the whole bottle. Hard liquor, hard truth can't swallow. Need a bartender, put me out of my sorrow. Wake up the next day with my homie Gonzo. Out of no one want me. Tell me she from Colorado and she love women. She'll be gone by tomorrow.
So, if you're not familiar with this meme, basically it and its many offshoots involve the famous green frog either being sad or engaging in self-destructive behaviors and other behaviors associated with depression. Now, to really add context to the story, I'm going to take you back to the time the meme itself dates back to, which is the edgy late 2000s, 2007 specifically, which is when the meme first gained virality. So, back in 2007, the internet was starting to lose the edge it had back in the 90s, but the edgy spirit was still very much there. You had emo kids fighting with scene kids, goth kids fighting with emo kids, all on MySpace, and it was MySpace itself that is where the subject of this video originates from. The meme was created by WRLD, a then 24-year-old photographer and filmmaker living in Ohio who was perusing MySpace, as was common in 2007, with fellow filmmaker Max Groa on April 8th of that year. The eponymous character came about when the pair came across a profile page for Sad Kermit, who was, as the name implied, a much more hardened adult version of Jim Henson's famous character. And the two, seeing this MySpace profile, decided to make a cover and music video of Johnny Cash's cover of the Nine Inch Nails song Hurt involving Sad Kermit.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting, trying to kill it all away. But I remember everything.
And of course, because this was 2007 and, late 2000s internet loved shit like this, the song and video went viral, but kind of died off after 2007 ended. After all, back then, it was shown on TV, specifically on VH1, and well, TV has a habit of killing off memes. However, sometime in 2016, a Finnish teenager would create the new incarnation of Sad Kermit that I'm sure a lot of the younger viewers of my channel are more familiar with than the first one. That teenager was the then 17-year-old Pinja Savalainen, who stated that the fuzzy Kermit doll in the photos was bought by her mother at a flea market in Finland. Now, I know I shouldn't go there, but hey, give me a break. At least it's not the Welsh I'm picking on with stereotypes. Anyways, it kind of makes sense that a Finnish teenager created such an iconic, relatable, sad meme. After all, Finland is a country known for high rates of depression despite being highly developed. So there's a stereotype I can actually prove. Anyways, she got the idea to position the doll in many intricate pictures using pieces from her mother's dollhouse as props for Kermit to use. A lot of love and care was put into these images, which started out with a very small audience on Twitter. And I am now going to show said images, because you really gotta see them to really understand what I'm trying to say. You may think I was being my usual hyperbolic silly self by claiming these images Pinja made were a work of art and setting them to Nocturne Opus 9 No. 2 by Frédéric Chopin, but I'm not kidding. Seriously, the many images Pinja made were really impressive. If she hasn't pursued a career in photography since this meme's heyday, she absolutely should. She's definitely got talent. Anyways, the meme spread towards more of the West when it was then shared with a sad but relatable caption by Johnny's son, who was unaware he gave sad Kermit this reputation as a relatable depressed icon, thinking the fuzzy frog doll was a classic meme even before he came across it. So, here's the pattern of the meme so far. It started out as a MySpace page, presumably sometime in the mid-2000s, that a 24-year-old filmmaker from Ohio found and made a music video that was edgy involving the character, which went viral in 2007. I'd assume sometime around then, probably even prior to that, a Finnish mom buys a fuzzy Kermit doll from a flea market. 9 years later, her daughter makes several intricate pictures involving said Kermit doll, which are brought to the mainstream by a caption challenge by American Twitter user Johnny Sun. Now, just allow me to preface this segment of this video with this warning, since it tackles a subject I have gotten into trouble with YouTube in the past for covering. This segment discusses the subject of suicide, which can be an incredibly triggering subject for a lot of viewers. If you don't think you can handle it, I totally understand if you want to quit watching or skip past the segment. Your mental health matters more than my watch time, especially because I'm not making any money off this. And I have included a timestamp to skip past this segment and into the one that comes after it. So, Kermit memes involving depression would take a turn back to their edgy roots throughout 2017 and 2018, with many viral memes depicting the green amphibian Muppet committing suicide. The most notable of these was, "I am going to Kermit suicide." Yeah, for some reason this type of edgy humor was really big in the late 2010s, at least among teens. Makes sense. After all, Gen Z is the most depressed generation, and unfortunately, it only seems to be on the rise with the edgy humor. Not that I have a problem with edgy humor, it's just, I think this next generation has confused edginess with just straight up shock value. And again, as I said in the statement that prefaced this whole segment, depression and suicide are, no joke, but a lot of us do cope with depression with jokes. Just don't take it too far. So, I am going to Kermit suicide started out as some hijinks on VRChat, as a lot of memes lately, since the late 2010s have. in which someone with a Kermit avatar, whose screen name is Kermit, proceeds to run out of a building in the game and jump off a balcony after someone states an intent to get frisky with him. But before he jumps off the railing, he proclaims one of the greatest puns of all time.
I am going to Kermit suicide.
However, this wasn't the only suicide-centric meme involving Kermit to go viral in this time period. There was another meme in which a Kermit the Frog puppet jumps off a building in a city in real life, which was often paired with the song Piano Man by Billy Joel.
Oh my god! Oh jeez! Oh my god! Oh jeez! Somebody help me!
Now, put yourself in Billy Joel's shoes for a minute. Imagine you made one of the best songs of the 1970s, but the only reason most people know about it these days that weren't from your generation is because of a meme involving Kermit the Frog ending his own life by jumping off a building. I wouldn't know how to feel about that. Of course, this period of Kermit-centric edgy humor did come to an end, as pretty much all memes do eventually, but I remember this lasted as long as 2019. So that just leaves one final question I haven't answered. Why? Why were these memes so popular? Why specifically Kermit? Well, it all really boils down to the time periods that these memes respectively were made in. The original Sad Kermit was made in 2007, a time in which shock humor was incredibly popular, both on the internet and in the mainstream media. And it's always been seen as subversive to see a popular children's character doing shocking or not safe for work things. You wouldn't expect to see Kermit the Frog doing drugs, having sex with Ralph the dog, or masturbating to a picture of Miss Piggy. As for why the 2016 version of Sad Kermit became popular, well, it was relatable, and a lot of care was put into the pictures Pinja made that later became Sad Kermit. I think the whole reason Sad Kermit became popular was because he made people realize that they weren't alone in their feelings. It might have also been from people who were more familiar with the edgier 2007 incarnation of Sad Kermit. And I'm Going to Kermit Suicide became popular because the same type of edgy humor we saw in the original Sad Kermit made a resurgence in the late 2010s. That was because, well, a lot of people saw the internet and meme culture as an escape from the overly politically correct mainstream media. It was mindless shock content, but it still pushed the boundaries. It still did something meaningful. So there we have it. There's the story of how Kermit the Frog once became an icon for depressed teens. And that, gentlemen, ladies, and fellow non-binary daisies, is the end of... This is actually the third episode of Web Surfing with the Sheep. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And if you've done all those things, y'all have a great day. Antonio out. Peace.